Hello, my friends. I'm assuming that most of you have heard of heart-brain coherence, which I think is a term from the HeartMath Institute. Um, and they have ways to teach people to harmonize in their heart with their brain. And they have ways to do that. I think they even have little machines where you can measure your heart and your heart coherence, and you can actually work with it so it comes into harmony. And it's very, very popular. And as it should be, because getting into heart brain coherence it's something that is sadly missing in the world because most people live in incoherence, right? They're very focused and identified in their brain only or in their mind without really realizing that you can come into harmony with your heart and your physiology. So yesterday, I was doing a longer meditation with my Dr. Joe Dispenza group here where I live. We meet once in a while and we do meditations together, and it's absolutely lovely. I don't do his work much anymore, but I do enjoy being there with my friends and, just enjoying the space that we submerge ourselves in. So on that meditation in the beginning, Dr. Joe, he talked about, the heart brain coherence, as he often does, because he's very connected with the HeartMath Institute. So as we did the meditation, and he very much keeps guiding us into that, into our heart, and to synchronize it with the brain. And suddenly it just dawned on me that what I've been talking about for so long is basically this saying yes to what you long for. It was like one of those click, 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 right? I've been talking about it, but I had not put it in that context as heart brain coherence. And just so you know, if you have a different experience, I totally respect that. We all have our own unique way of coming back home, and I share mine. And if any of what I share resonates with you, grab it and make it your own and see where it takes you. But there was a real big relief in that because I had not put those together. And the way we live is not in coherence with our heart and brain. We very much live in discoherence, what's it called? Lack of coherence, because most of it is happening up here. And then we try to get down to the heart, right? Much of it is done from the mind because for many people, that's all we have access to because we have been so out of touch with our heart. And what I've been seeing happening in the world for a very long time now, and you can certainly hear it on a lot of my videos, is that it feels like the divine is now coming to meet us. It's almost like saying, okay, guys, you've gone far enough on your own. It's getting more and more messy. I think it's time to come home. And that's where, when you start feeling a longing for the divine, for peace, for harmony, for union. This is in many, many of us. And like I've talked about, there's so many of us, we do not know what to do with it. So we leave it behind and we start going back away from the divine and trying to get that experience out here. So that is when we live out of coherence with our heart and brain. We live in that state of duality where we're moving this direction further and further away. So the invitation is to come back so we can actually live in harmony or in unity with ourselves or in oneness with ourselves. Everything always comes back to ourself because there is only one self. And I don't want to make that a spiritual bypass thing. But if we start remembering and maybe open up to have that experience, then you can slowly start sensing into it more that the field, the coherent field that is everywhere, is oneness. It's not separate from anything. And it's there's certainly no separation between the heart and the mind or the heart and the brain. So how do we bring coherence between the two? And this is what I felt very excited about. When you feel this longing, let's say it's for the divine or it's for having success in your work or wonderful relationships, there is something in you that longs for that. And what we do, we say no to it. And we do that with this thing here between our ears. We say no for whatever reason, right? No, you can't have it. You have to work for it. I'm not worthy. Look what happened last time. Yada, yada, yada. That's all the things that are going on in here. And that's the brain. And it's completely out of coherence with the longing. So if you wonder, why is my life not harmonizing? Why am I not able to manifest when I'm working so hard on visualizing it and imagining it and, all the things we do? It is very likely that it's because you're not feeling the longing and have given it a full, juicy yes. And when I say juicy, that is the feeling. Oh, I've talked about this so much, and I'm actually really excited to talk about it because it's also something that I'm working on, and it's so alive. It is so sweet. I think I keep saying that, but it really is. It's super sweet. So the way we are not in coherence, heart-brain coherence, it's because the brain moves away, cuts off, creates a distance. And the distance, we could probably say, is the time lag of it becoming our direct experience. So that what we long for, and when it is experienced in our life, it can get less and less time. That can shorten it incredibly just because we are shortening it. We are tuning into this. Okay, so this is what we normally do. We're tuning is like, yeah, I want it. Oh, I can't have it. Oh, cut off, further and further away. Ain't happening, right? Can you relate? A lot of things not happening. I can. And but it's changing. It's totally changing. And that's what's so exciting for me. That it feels like there's an open door that I had been closing myself by unconsciously, somewhat consciously. I kind of knew it, but it was still a little too deep in the darkness. Basically saying no. I think mine was specifically, oh, it's not going to happen to me. Look at my life. I've tried this for so many years. I've done Dr. Joe's work. I've done this and that, and I have not been able to manifest. So it's not going to happen to me. So every time there was a longing, I might stay with it. I might do some of the steps that I've learned, but underneath, there was this like, no, it's not going to happen. So I distanced myself from myself. I distant myself from my heart's longing. And then I wonder, why is it not happening? And then maybe even get upset with God, right? Like, I'm doing everything, more distance, more distance. What I've been talking about lately a lot is like, are you saying yes to your longing in a way that it is your very, very best friend? It might be your cat, your child, your loving soulmate that you only want the best for, and you will give them anything, anything. That is pretty much how the divine works. Not because it is withholding it from us. It can only give because the love can only love. So when we can bring that, yes, yes, I want that, with a smile in your heart, with an open attitude of, yes, want you to have that. That feeling, in my experience now, that's why I talk about it this way, you are in heart-brain coherence because you are not turning away from yourself. That's why there is a lack of coherence. There's a lack of union. There's a lack of oneness and harmony because we are moving away from it, or we are building, barriers in front of it. Remember what Rumi said: your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers that you have built against it. It's my favorite quote of his because it says everything. And then it's up to us to work and find out, where are the barriers? Well, I want to just share with you, the biggest barrier is that we say no to our deepest heartfelt longing, and it does not matter what it is. The divine does not say, yeah, you can have that, but not that, or or any of that. That's selfish. That's not, it doesn't work that way. That's what we do, many times based on misguided religion, right? Where you can't ask for something for yourself that's selfish or whatever it is. All nonsense. That's not how love and oneness works. That's duality, right? That's withholding and duality, right? So there's a split. There's two. Come back. Feel your longing with a sweetness, with a deep, heartfelt yes, in the same way you would give it to your absolute beloved, whatever it is for you, that you would never deny anything. And of course, this also brings it home for me because as a self-love mentor, which has been my own path for many years since I wrote the book called Imagine Being Kind to Yourself. The link is in the descriptions below. Self-love, how much more loving can you be to yourself than saying yes to what you long for, right? So you feel the longing and you just grab it and say, yes, yes, I want that for you. And right there, and staying in the feeling, right? This is not a mind thing. No, 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 no. The mind doesn't know how to do that. That is the heart. So but you have, you have to have them work together, cooperate. So you have to find that place in yourself first where you say no. And then, then that needs to be transformed into a yes. And that is the work. And you can reach out if you do want to do some of that work with me. That's kind of what I do for myself and my clients, obviously. But so it's a feeling. It is a feeling, a sweet, sweet feeling. That's what you meet this with. And when you meet it with love, with a yes, these two become one. They are now in union. There's no time lag, there's no separation, there's no duality. You have come home to your heart with a yes. Now you can become that outlet for whatever this longing is expressing. It may not happen overnight, but it may. I don't know. It all depends on how committed we are to turning the no in whatever flavor that no shows up. We can turn that no into a yes and do it over and over until it's the default. You just live in heart-brain coherence. You don't need to say yes to it because you're not saying no to it anymore. So they basically cancel each other out. So that's my experience, a deeper level of heart-brain coherence and how simple it is when you really, really get it. And then you are able to walk around more and more in this sweet feeling where you're basically embracing all of yourself, including what you long for. And you do it with love.